Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Now, let me introducing by myself. My name is Fareada Faiz Alshamry. I am in Jubail city from Saudi Arabia. My department of special education, College of Science and Humanities at Imam Abdulrahman bin Faisal University. Today, inshallah, we are talking about the reality of applying teacher from the learning abilities criteria according of some variables and in Jubail city under the supervision Dr. Kowthar Jamal. Let's get started. Learning disabilities are widespread among students and are often diagnosed incorrectly and can appear at any educational stage and extend throughout a person's life and may be accompanied by some other problems, as the problem of learning difficulties stand in the way of the success of the educational process. And thus the weakness of the director, the educational levels, which is represented by poor reading, writing, and attention, which leads to a low level of achievement. So the correct diagnosis is cornerstone in the identification of unusual children, their classification levels and mental abilities, and a special education training program that cites their abilities and learning and the practice needs, take into account individual differences between them and their ordinary peers, and the science there is a security in the of diagnostic tools suitable of this purpose. Next, nevertheless, difficulties still surround the diagnostic rules and tools, the extent of their reality and their ability to diagnose it to difference and passage of the both. The idea of this research come to describe the reality of diagnosing students how suffer from learning difficulties at various levels, which makes dealing with this topic important. Next, the research problem. The research problem is in the following question. Number one, what is the reality of applying learning disabilities teachers in diagnostic tests to students with learning disabilities in Jubail? Number two, there are differences between the meanings scored of learning disabilities teacher application of diagnostic tests due to the experience valuable in Jubail. Number three, there are differences between the meanings scored of learning disabilities teacher application of diagnostic tests due to the scientific qualification variable in Jubail. Next, importance of research, critical importance. Number one, the research enriched libraries and provide an addition of them due to the lack of studies in the village, according to the research knowledge. Number two, they provide objective data for this interested and specialized about the reality of applying diagnostic test inside learning resources room by teacher learning disabilities. And next, applying importance. Number one, the research refers the reality of application of diagnostic tests by teachers with learning disabilities. Number two, they provide discussion markers with results that reflect the importance and necessity of applying diagnostic criteria. Number three, the research may provide those with a tools that can be applied in diagnostic learning disabilities. And now let me read some associated studies. For example, number one, a Shafi'i study, 2014. The study aimed to use a number of tests and the diagnostic tools to verify its accuracy in diagnosing learning the difficulties, disabilities in the first three grades of the stage of primary. And for example, number two, study, 2016, the study aimed to identify the problem of diagnosing studies with learning difficulties from the point of a few specialists in the learning disability in Saudi Arabia, and also Al Sheikha and Abu Najm. Research method link. In this research, the researcher followed the descriptive comparative method link, the study publication and the symbol. The original research community consists of 34 male and female teachers with learning disabilities for elementary stage in the city of Jubail in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Home 21 teachers and 13 female teachers. All of them are the search sample. And down, let's see the result. The result number 1, the reality of teachers' application of learning diagnostic and the diagnostic test on Jubail criteria by a moderate degree. This is the result number 1. Result number 2, there are differences between the mean score of the learning disabilities teacher application of the diagnostic test in city of Jubail due to the experience variable. Result number 3, there are differences between the meaning score of the learning disabilities teacher application of this diagnostic test in the city of Jubail due to the scientific. Finally, recommendations. Urging teacher to apply diagnostic criteria will conduce screening producer for people with learning difficulties. Number 2, reconsidering the tools used for diagnosing and finding modern scientific tools that have high validity and reliability indications. Number 3, providing opportunities for teachers to enroll in graduate studies program and make better use of their experience. Thank you all for listening.